Don't Judge Me But podcasts are the personal opinions of the host and do not reflect the opinions of its employers, sponsors, advertisers, endorsers, or any third party. The information provided on the podcast is for entertainment purposes only and should not be considered as professional medical or legal advice. It is advisable to consult with a qualified professional for any medical or legal concerns. In other words, have fun, people.
God is good enough for them ducks. Is good enough for this shit.
But then when you're on your phone, you're like this, smiling and stuff. Like,
yeah.
What
Let me
you
hold
got
that.
going on?
Let me hold that.
Or even just wanting access to your partner's phone. Like, why? Why do you want access?
You know why you want access.
You want to be heartbroken.
You want to go through them DMs and see who they talking to. That's why.
You know what? If my girl was a toe sucker, or if she wanted me to do it, I probably would, but there would be strict protocols before that toe went in my mouth. I mean, I would probably have to like carry her to the bed. You know what I'm saying?
Because once the foot hit the floor, it's all over.
It's dirty. What up, fam?
Hey. What's going on, y'all? It's been a minute. Hey, DJ.
What's up, DJ? Yeah, it's been a minute, but we back. Yeah, we had to take a little break.
Yeah, right.
Had some technical difficulties.
Gobble day. How was everybody's Thanksgiving?
Wait. Hold on, because that's what my Don't Judge Me is all about.
Oh, man.
So I guess I'll just go ahead and kick the door in and just start with my Don't Judge Me. So I guess full screen on me. Don't judge me, but I don't care who's Nana, Mama, Grandma, Gammy, whatever you want to call her. I don't care who she is. If she got roaches, I'm not eating her Thanksgiving dinner. And I said what I said. Listen, you see them roaches crawling on the table and you're going to go ahead and try to slide it on off to the side like ain't nobody see it. I'm not eating that. A lot of y'all ate a lot of protein this week.
Woo, man. I feel you on that one. That was a good one.
Listen,
hey, Nana.
they definitely, the roaches be coming out because they want to celebrate Thanksgiving too.
I'm
they
done.
Tasting the food.
They had the food all the time.
What? They be tasting the food. I can't do that. And don't invite me over. Matter of fact, shake your jacket off before you.
Ooh, listen, matter of fact, don't even come in with a jacket on. How about that?
Man, you ever had your parents tell you, when we go in their house, don't take nothing off. Leave your coat on, your shoes on.
Yeah. You ain't carrying no critters home.
Nothing.
I think roaches was a part of everybody who grew up in the hood. That's their childhood. Roaches was in that childhood.
And that's why I run from roaches like the plague. I run from them like they ghosts or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. They got these things. Oh no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I moved into a place as a kid, as a young man, and I found out the place had roaches, and the landlord wouldn't do anything about it. I left all my shit.
I would have left it too. Again. I would have left it too. They ain't moving in with you.
Yeah, they got these things down here in the South. They call them water bugs. I call them cockroaches. I know what a cockroach look like. I don't care if he fly or he come through the water pipe. That's a cockroach.
Yeah,
I
heard they're big. I've never seen one.
No.
Come on down. They look like roaches.
Yeah, they look like big, giant cockroaches. Wow. Except these come up through the pipes. So when you gotta like close your faucets, you gotta plug them up or tape them closed. With that little circle area at the base of the sink, you gotta cover that part up with some tape so they don't come through the pipes and come into your bathroom. Oh yeah, they're not playing.
Oh, that's real.
Yeah. Thanks. So what have you guys been up to? I feel like we haven't seen each other in so long.
And work.
Yeah, same. Work. Wheeling and dealing.
Go.
Go
Still about to
Gash.
finish off this last little bit of Thanksgiving food minus the roaches, you know.
Oof.
You know what I'm saying? Side note, how long you think you can eat Thanksgiving leftovers before you gotta throw it out?
Until Christmas. If you freeze it real good until Christmas, what are you talking about? That turkey turned into a soup.
You know what?
Sandwiches.
It shouldn't be more than like 3-4 days.
Oh, you fancy.
How long you been
Because I'm trying to think. I'm eating on mine. This is the one time a year I overeat. So the leftovers don't even last long for me.
Listen, you put it in the freezer. It's good. It got a freezer life of at least 2 weeks.
Yeah,
And
until
what
you thaw it
particular
out.
items go into the freezer?
You say what?
What do you freeze?
Oh, you freezing stuffing, macaroni and cheese, collard greens, turkey, the whole dinner. Look at DJ. DJ said, yes, DJ. Listen, I almost had the opportunity to meet DJ and Tara, but listen, I was so tired. Okay, there's so many shout outs I gotta give. First of all, shout out to DJ and Tara for sliding through Georgia, sliding through the good old ATL. I told them I'll definitely come up to Connecticut, and when I do, I want to meet them and hang out with them for more than just an hour or two. Shout outs also, because life was life, and when they came up, shout outs to, I think it's Tyron. It could be Tyrone, but he don't got an E at the end of his name. So Tyron with Auto Nation, located in Kennesaw, Georgia. He helped me get a new car. So I told him I give him a shout out as well, and
Nice.
slide his information up in the chat at some point. So shout outs to him. But yeah, shout outs to Tara and to DJ. I think DJ said this was Tara's first time having a Waffle House. Have you guys had Waffle House before?
Yep. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, the Waffle House. You know, Waffle House is like eating frozen Thanksgiving dinner every day. Like it's good. It's dependable, right? It's dependable. I'm just saying.
It's always gonna be there.
Yeah, you know.
$4.99 you can get rent.
Wait, $4.99.
Yeah, it all depends on where you go and who you
know.
What
you getting? Where you going?
Chill, fam.
Listen, I don't know. No $4.99 Waffle House. You must got the hookup.
Chill, fam.
That's. Listen, I always say the Waffle House, all of that. Let me shut up because I don't want to get us banned or nothing.
Don't finish your point. I kind of want to hear it.
Don't judge us, but that's right, DJ. Waffle House is better than Denny's. Yes, hands down.
I agree.
And
I don't know. I don't know.
Listen,
you've gone too far with that one. I don't know.
DJ,
International House of Pancakes.
Yep, smashing them with the Waffle House. Yeah. So I'm gonna get off the tangent of the employees at the Waffle House. Let me tell you something. If you go to the Waffle House and all of the employees, like not one employee looks like they're on some type of drug, you might not get the best experience as far as the cooking goes. When you go into the Waffle House and they missing teeth, what? And they look real chippery. Oh, your waffles is about to be banging. That steak on Texas toast. Yeah, I'm just saying.
Sounds banging too. But yeah, I can see they're a little more happy, so they probably put that love into their food when they, on one.
I've never been disappointed at a Waffle House.
You never what?
I've never been disappointed at a Waffle House.
I like Waffle House. It's good.
So, tonight's topic, how to recognize and address emotional manipulation. What do you guys think about this topic?
I felt that way. I felt emotionally manipulated many times. How about you guys?
I think we all have, Dame.
Yeah.
We've all run across people who, try to gaslight us. They be denying stuff, denying memories or events, making you feel like you might be going crazy, or the things you're saying don't make any sense, but they know what they're doing. Those are all manipulation tactics. Or they'll try and guilt you into doing something that they want you to do. And if you don't, they're like, "Oh, I thought you was my boy. I thought you was cool." You know what I'm saying? But it's just realizing that whenever you get feelings in your gut that say something is wrong here, you notice it and you call it out. You know what I'm saying? You got to stand up for yourself, because if you don't, who will?
Right.
And if you allow people to manipulate you, they will continue to do so.
Yeah.
I agree.
It's interesting. I know for me, I definitely was in a relationship where there was a lot of emotional manipulation, but I was not able to identify it until I got out of the relationship and looked back years later. And I think a lot of people experience that as well, where you're so caught up in the relationship that you don't have enough time to analyze or gather your thoughts or even your emotions to realize what's going on. And I think that's the plan of the manipulator is, if you get too much idle time, you're going to figure it out. So have either of you ever been accused of being the manipulator?
Nah. I always been chill.
Yeah.
No, I have not. It's
Hmm.
unless they were trying to like do some reverse
Psychology.
right.
Which is manipulation on their part.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But no. But just, I've been thinking about I've heard someone call someone else recently a trauma hustler.
Ooh.
Break that down.
And this is somebody that refuses or can't get their shit together, right? And they use the fact that they're in a fucked up position to like guilt trip you into doing things for them. You know what I'm saying?
That makes sense.
And that could be like, yo, I don't have nobody else, or I'm not working right now. I can't do for myself because do you think that you can do this? And they, sometimes they make you feel bad, and they make you feel like you have to do it. But the thing is, they're doing this to everyone, and that's how they get by. And so that is a form of manipulation that people don't even realize is happening sometimes. You know what I mean? Someone calls you out the blue and tell you about their problems, and you don't talk to them ever.
Mm-hmm. But see, we all know that the person who is always got something going on, they're always the victim when they realize the type of attention and the resources that they're getting. Like, why would they want better for themselves? Of course, we all know, but why would they? If I could sit here and tell you a sob story, and in turn, I'm getting housing, I'm getting clothing, food. If I have kids, they're getting taken care of. Why would I want to get on my feet? Sometimes that's how the system is, to the point where the system will only help people who are like that.
Yeah, you're right. I totally agree.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So
it's wild.
What does emotional manipulation look like?
Making you feel bad.
Oh,
go ahead, Dame. You got it.
Oh no, I actually think that you covered it, James. Because what comes to mind for me is like it's an inability to accept responsibility. Like nothing is your fault, and because it's not their fault, they need you. Or it might look like someone that can't fill their cup up, so they have to come to yours. You know what I mean? It looks a lot of different ways, man. What do you think? How do you guys see it? Like, how does it show up for you guys?
Emotional manipulation is, you touched on it before, how it's like, if someone says, yo, if you really cared, you would do this for me. I can't depend on nobody else. You're the only person I got in my corner. You're the only person I trust. They'll really play on that trust. Anything that'll make you feel more connected to them, and then the sob story will will make you want to give in to whatever their needs are. It's getting some type of rise out of you, whether that's concern or care or you them wanting you to feel like you got their back, through thick and thin, through whatever they're going through. And then it gives you a false sense of acceptance, from the manipulator. If someone's, and side note, if someone's kind of weak minded or can't really stand up to themselves, they'll do anything to fit in with this person. And people who are normally manipulators will go for people who aren't as mentally strong.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree.
All right. So, Special 77 says, is that similar to trauma bonding?
It really is. It's the beginning of trauma bonding, if anything, because it starts a cycle, right? You know, manipulators are they kind of ask for more than they give. And so what happens is once your cup is empty, fully empty, you start to complain, and they might do a small gesture, to comfort you. And then, 6 months later, a month later, you're back where you were, exploding after being manipulated for the last few weeks or months. It's very much like trauma bonding. You don't even realize you're trauma bonded to someone, in the moment. You're just addicted to this person.
Okay. What do you think, James, as far as trauma bonding goes? Do you think the two of them are related, or do they have any characteristics that might set them apart?
I think trauma bonding and the manipulation go hand in hand, because one person's kind of like, one person's addicted to the abuse or the manipulation, whether they know it or not. They're getting some type of fulfillment out of it. Like, the abuser could be like, I need help with this bill, or let me use your car or whatever. And because you're helping them out, who the weaker individual is, they're like, they get a sense of fulfillment from it. I'm helping this person out. There's no one in their corner. Who else is going to do it if I don't do it? And then that forms the trauma bond. So like you said, it's like the beginning stages of it. But it's just being able to realize it. Like, when you're dealing with someone who's a manipulator, at first it's hard to see that they're a manipulator. The only way to figure that out is to spend more time with them. And when you start noticing patterns of them consistently lying, or they're not living up to the things that they say or the things that they show you, is you start to get a better sense of who they are and what they're really about. But once you realize that you're dealing with a manipulator, number one thing, cut them off. Because no matter what you say or do, they're going to continue to manipulate whoever they can. They're not just going to stop because you said, hey, I know what you're doing. They're just going to move on to someone else who they can manipulate.
But do you think that it's that easy for someone to cut off an emotional manipulator if they don't even recognize what's going on? One, or two, they're not strong enough to leave. Because it's easy for us to say cut them off, but I mean...
Side note, everyone is strong enough to leave when you feel like it. Because what happens is most people don't leave until they're so angry and so fed up that they're like, I can't deal with this anymore. But they've been wanting to leave. They just made a decision after a series of events happen. Anyone can leave whenever you feel like it. You just have to make that decision for yourself when you want to leave. Would you rather stay in a situation where you don't feel appreciated, where you're being taken advantage of, where you're not getting your needs met, or would you rather cut it off and progressively move forward with your life and find someone who's a better fit for you? You have to make the decision for yourself. And it can take a day, it could take weeks, it could take months, it could take a couple of years. But it all just depends on what pace you want to move at.
Yeah.
What do you think, Dane?
I think it's important to note that manipulators choose their victims as well. They actually look for the weak person, the emotionally weak person, a person who might have some kind of needs that aren't getting met, a person that's lonely. And so, you have to stay vigilant. We all have to stay vigilant, because manipulators are looking for specific types of people. And if you don't set boundaries early, you're kind of sending them a message that it's okay to continue. And that's really the only way to not be manipulated is you have to set boundaries and you have to eventually tell people no. And look, I struggle with this a lot, because you don't want to disappoint anyone. You always want to be fair. You want to be a good person, and manipulators use those qualities against you. They know that you want to be a good person. You know what I mean? So who better to ask, than you?
So the interesting thing, right? Because we do mention, and we hear it a lot in society, in podcasts, in discussions, setting your boundaries, making your boundaries clear. I know for me, I had no clue what boundaries were when I was younger and in a relationship. And when I say younger, I'm talking 19, 20, married at 21. I had no idea what a boundary was. I didn't learn about boundaries until I was well into my 30s. And then it's like, oh, so this is your way of setting rules on how you do and don't want to be treated, what
Mm-hmm.
you are willing and not willing to accept. Okay, I get it. That's what a boundary is. So, like I said, I was in my 30s. So, if we were to take off the assumption or just assuming that everybody knows what a boundary is, how else, other than getting tired of being in a relationship and being manipulated, how else maybe can family members help out someone who's in a relationship and they're going through this? What are some things that they can do or that they can say without compromising the person's safety?
Listen, when people are going through things, a lot of times we want to give them advice to try and get them out of a situation, but until they're ready to leave, they're not going to go anywhere. Sometimes you just need to be that ear and just listen to the things that they're saying. Every once in a while, slide in a little seed, tell them, you ever thought about this? Or what if you try doing these things? But the main thing is just to listen. Because if they're venting to you, they want some type of help. They just don't know what help they need. And the only way for them to figure that out is for them to sometimes talk it out. This is why therapy is important, because once you go to a therapist, they allow you to talk. And then once you start talking, you kind of come to your own conclusions. While you're talking, you might say, they never contribute to the bills. They never have their own money. They never take me on dates. They never help with the kids. Everything is
Mhm.
me, me, me. Why am I not getting help? And light bulb go off. They're manipulating me, or they're not someone that I should be around. It takes time for you to sit back and realize some things when you're in a relationship. But once you get out, like you said before, Bree, you'll see it clearer. Because when you're in it, you're in it. And you think you're in
Mhm.
love. And you're just doing everything you can to help the person that you're dealing with. But
Mhm.
you don't know until it ends that they weren't good for you and they were taking advantage.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
What do you think, Dane?
Yeah, I agree with James. I think that the first goal should be to listen and to hear them out and to, just appreciate what they are going through. I also think it's important that we speak life into our relatives. Sometimes we have to remind our relatives who they are. We have to remind our relatives that they are a part of a family that that comes
Mhm.
with goals and morals and expectations on how we should be treated collectively. Like our family don't go for things like that. And also, I think the biggest question that we have to ask a relative that's being manipulated, what are you getting from this? Are you actually getting this? Getting something from this? If you ask for your needs to be met, are you afraid that this person won't rise to the occasion? Because at the end of the day, we have to make sure that we are getting treated right, because some people are chasing love without even recognizing that they aren't getting their needs met. They want love so
Mhm.
badly that they're willing to hold on to some nonsense. So
Yeah.
just take a mental note of where you are and if your needs are getting met. I think that's what I would say to a relative that I think is being manipulated. And I agree with James. They probably, we don't always recognize we're in it. You know what I mean? And sometimes talking about it helps you kind of see what's going
Mm-hmm.
on, you
Yep.
know?
Yep.
Yeah.
Side note, you can also spend some time with them, man. Get them away from the manipulator. Let them clear their
Yeah.
mind. Take them to the movies, take them to a restaurant, go play some pool, do some axe throwing, do a fun activity to give their mind a rest and get them away from the person. Spend
Yeah.
some quality time with them because sometimes when you're in a manipulative relationship, you might be feeling bad and depressed and down all the time, and you don't even know why.
Mm-hmm.
But once you get away, you're like, I finally feel better. And then as the family, you can say, you see, when you get away from this person, don't you feel a little more lighthearted? Do you feel like a weight's been lifted off you? And you point these things out to them. So that way they can notice it. Like, yeah, every time I'm around this person, I do feel kind of down and depressed, and they're always going through something. And I don't like that. It's
Mm-hmm.
you gotta when you remove people from the situation, it gives them an opportunity to think clearly.
Yeah. I would add into what both of you have said, and also just focus on helping to strengthen the victim, because 9 times out of 10 their self-esteem has been broken. They don't know what self care is at this point, especially if they've been in a relationship long enough where their primary focus is more so on the partner than themselves. So, isolating them or getting them away from the abuser or the manipulator is going to be key. But show them the happiness that they used to have prior to that relationship, and give them words of encouragement, but most importantly, let them know, despite how you feel, they're not wrong, because a manipulator is going to really really sew into you. Everything that you're doing is wrong, and you are the reason why everything is failing, whether in their life, in the relationship, or even in your life. So, build them up and help them understand that they're not wrong. They're not wrong for being in that relationship, and that you can understand that they may love that person and that's why they're in it, but they need to love themselves more than the love that they're given to that person. Because if you strengthen them, then everything else is going to fall into place. They will develop the um, will to leave, right? But if they're weak and they leave, they're going to go back. That's just how it goes, right? So, what I want to do is I want to go ahead and bring up our guest tonight, who's going to be joining us, and we'll get into the topic with him a little bit, and then we'll take a commercial break. So, joining us this evening is the one and only Jason. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Hey, I'm great. I'm great. And what a juicy conversation you guys are having.
Thanks. So, how you
Thank
Oh
you.
feeling?
We
boy.
are. We're
Welcome, my
glad
boy.
to have you. So,
Hmm.
Yes, glad to be here.
yes. So, Jason, before we actually go into the topic and what you think about it, we want to give you the opportunity to introduce yourself to the people and let them know, what is it that you do, what do you have going on, and how can they find you on social media?
Okay, so my name is Jason Dorsey. I am a poet. I am a playwright. I am an author. I'm a recovery coach. I'm a young people and family services coordinator for CCAR. I'm a father. And I'm a halfway decent dude sometimes if you get to know me. Um, I'm saying all this stuff I do, but I'm kind of old school and I underground a lot. But you could find me at Jason Dorsey on Facebook. You could find me at Jason Poet on Instagram. Yes.
All right. Thank you so much for that. So, what we want to do is just dive into this topic, because I know you've been backstage and you were able to hear a little bit of the conversation. So, what is your take on emotional manipulation? Have you ever been a part of it, whether the victim, the abuser, either or?
Yeah, yes, I have. Um, being that I'm a storyteller, listen, you guys really had me thinking back to my childhood, especially when you were talking about family. and stuff, because family is a big part of this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is most important for family because those are the ones we don't get to choose. But
Right.
just like Dame was saying, we set those boundaries that has to include family too. Like sometimes this is good stuff, but it's tough stuff, and that's just being real. A guy like me, right? I grew up in New Haven, Connecticut, without a single family member on the East Coast. So when you were talking about family, right? I'm really going somewhere with this. Except for my mother, who my mother just happened to be preoccupied. So I left home at 13, right? And didn't go back. So there was a lot of fending for myself, a lot of figuring out, I mean, even my next meal, but relationships, what I'm gonna allow and what I'm not gonna allow was very sticky waters for me at the time. And so I didn't have a lot of family. I didn't have uncles, cousins, brothers, sisters, or grands around to like give me the, hey man, don't let them do this. Don't let people do that to you. Yet I'm in a situation where I'm depending on people for even my next meal.
Right.
And that even came in the form of strangers, right? So how do I set like these parameters? Like, can I get a little raw for a second?
Come on.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I was a victim of abuse, which drove me to leave the house, and domestic violence. And I mean, I had like bruises all over my body. My eyes were swollen shut, and I'm like, I'm not going back to that house, period. I walked around New Haven for about 2 days. I was sleeping downtown, and I was so angry that I didn't even get hungry.
Wow.
And if I did, it kind of got fought off, but I was just angry. And then I remembered this guy I knew who had just bought a brand new BMW and told me, if you ever need me, come see me. See where this is going, right? After about 2-3 days, that hunger really kicked in and started overriding the anger. And I was like, I got to do something, but I'm not going back home. So I went and found this guy. Literally, he lived in the projects, and I knew where his mother lived, and I saw someone that looked like they knew him, and I told them, listen, if you see this guy, you tell him I'm standing in the parking lot by his mother's house, and I'm not going nowhere till he comes. And he came, and I told him, I said, listen. He was like, what happened to you? And I was like, well, I told him in a nutshell. And I said, I'm not going back. I need a job and a place to stay. And that's what he gave me, right? So now kicks in the survival mode, right? And so he gave me a job and a place to stay. Got a hot meal within 10 minutes of seeing him, And so I'm staying on topic, believe it or not, right? to bring it right on topic, right? I became a hustler, but with no real morals or family compass or that people shouldn't treat me this way or
that foundation.
And then I'm living in a world that's based on manipulation as it is, So it's a lot of things going on. And the best thing that I could come up with is to like try to stay one step ahead of everyone else. Try to get up early and hustle hard, and so that I have me, and I have a little bit to feed the manipulation, right? But I'm killing myself doing this. But this is what I'm doing. I don't know any better. I don't have these scruples. So, that's what I did. It was just survival, and it really set me up for adulthood in a bad way because I hadn't learned to set these boundaries. I hadn't, well, like I left with the clothes on my back, like I needed underwear and stuff,
Right.
And so building relationships, I didn't know what a healthy relationship was, right? And anything goes. So later on in life, when I really started like seeing that the relationships that I was in wasn't working, right? And I define relationship, right? It is not just me and my wife or my girlfriend, right?
Mhm.
It's I'm in a relationship with the three of you because we're sitting here talking and building on something, right? Like I'm in a relationship with the guy that works at the bodega around the corner because I go in there every day and I need him to make my turkey and cheese just right,
Yeah.
because if it's not, then it throws my day off almost. So
Right. Yeah.
we're in a relationship. We're depending upon each other, right?
Right.
And if I'm in a relationship, being in a relationship is like being on a team.
Mm-hmm.
That we're gonna support each other for a common good, or for the win, if you will. We're gonna support each other for the win, and it may not even come out. Like we're gonna make some mistakes in this. I'm gonna make some mistakes. So one thing that makes me able to recognize when someone's mentally manipulating me is when they're trying to make me feel guilty about something I did or something that they did for me. Because if it's something I did, like, listen, I'm going to make mistakes. But if we're in this team, right, we're in a relationship, we have a common goal, good, we want the win, right? Then like you're gonna work with me through this mistake so that I can do some more if you're for me. Yeah, so there's a lot to that.
Okay. Well, look, we're gonna put a pin in it, and what we'll do is we'll go to commercial break, and then we will be right back. So you guys keep it locked. This is the Don't Judge Me But podcast. And stay tuned.
Mental ambition is a belief that you can accomplish anything that you put your mind to. It's holding yourself accountable for your mistakes, working through your traumas. It's never giving up and overcoming any roadblocks or obstacles in your way that prevent your growth and progress. This is a self-help book that deals with mental health, life coaching, and practical advice that anyone can follow to help with self-improvement, accompanied by real-life stories to motivate and inspire you. My name is James Sweat. I'm a certified life coach and author of Mental Ambition, a guide to upgrading your life. If you feel that you have no one in your corner, just know that I'm rooting for you to win, and I believe in you. God bless and keep going.
Hey everybody, this is Jeff, and I want to tell you about our brand new podcast theater. We love producing live events for you, and we built a space that's flexible for creators, and this space will grow as your show grows. And best of all, we have no hidden costs, no risks, no hidden fees or guaranteed minimums. Because when you book your show at Paduti, you will get ideas and feedback and suggestions on how to produce your show live for our stage. We're going to build you an event landing page and facilitate your ticket sales. We're going to produce the entire event for you, and we're going to give you the recording that you own the full rights to. We take no ownership over your content because your success is our success. If you sell tickets, it's simple. We split the sales 50-50. There's no minimum, no guarantees. Ask for Jeff when you contact us, and let's bring your show to our main stage, Paduti.com. Let's go.
All right, we are back, you guys. Welcome to Don't Judge Me But podcast. My name is Sabrina. And we didn't even go around like we usually do. We were just so ready to get into it. Above me, we got...
It's your boy, Dame Irv, aka Reppin' CT. It's always good to be with you. You know what I'm saying? And to my
It's your boy James, owner of Mental Ambition, baby. I'm back at it again.
All right. And then next to me, this way, next to me, we got...
Jason Dorsey, Josh's son.
Yes, Josh's son. All right.
And
So before we get back into the topic, I did want to give a shout out to Jeff with Rise and Outshine. James and I, of course, because Dane was out celebrating his birthday, living it
Mhm.
up. We had the
Still mad I
opportunity
missed
to be a guest on Rise and Outshine and get some great criticism and feedback and judgment, right? Don't judge us, but get some judgment on just a short segment that James and I did. And the interesting thing was at the end, they developed a bubble, a word bubble, based on the words that the people who were viewing put that they heard the most or what stood out to them the most when they listened to us do the podcast. And the funny thing is, toe sucker. Toe sucker was one of the words
it.
Made me
in the
famous,
word
baby.
bubble.
That's
Yes.
hilarious.
You are famous.
So, yeah, that was a great time. So tonight we are talking about emotional manipulation, and it. So Jason had touched on a really good point. I made some notes over here, and I did have a question. I had a question for all of you guys. So when you take someone who is a victim in a relationship, who is now in survival mode, and they get out of that relationship that was abusive to them, emotionally abusive, you can say, how would they know in the next relationship whether it's healthy? Like, what would a healthy relationship look like to someone coming out of that type of relationship?
They wouldn't know. They wouldn't know because they've been in survival mode for so long. If someone's being nice to them and they're actually catering to their needs, they'll feel like they're being set up or they're being manipulated even when they're not, because they've been with someone who's been taking advantage of them for so long.
Mhm.
You know, and it's going to take time for that person who was in that previous relationship to break out of that survival. Like when you're in it, it's like you're trying to protect yourself. You're trying not to get in trouble. You're trying not to piss the person off, but it takes time for you to realize that, you know, it's a lot.
I think people, I think it's important to watch out when you talk to your partner or when you talk to this manipulative person and you make a complaint. Sometimes they flip it onto you and say,
Mhm.
you acting crazy again, or you don't seem to care about me. They flip it onto you. So I want everybody to be very mindful of them using your reaction against you. They will treat you messed up. They'll piss you off. They'll treat you as if you're less than perfect. And then when you mention it or you say how it makes you feel, your reaction becomes the topic. Right?
Mhm.
So always ask yourself if how you are feeling is justified. Right? If you talk to this person and you have a genuine need that you're trying to get addressed and they get mad at you for even bringing it up, you got to pay attention to that because that's manipulation. They don't want to address your issue.
Mhm.
They want to keep things the way they are and they want you to question yourself. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? So it's really important to look out for that.
Gotcha. Jason, what do you think?
No, I think they're both right on point. Yeah, and it kind of goes back to boundaries because making sure that you're treated the way that you need to be treated. And I just emphasize that the way you need to be treated,
Right.
Um, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I agree with all of you. And I add into it to say it's okay to be selfish, right? Because we have been given this idea or this process that being selfish isn't a good thing. right? Wanting time to yourself isn't a good thing. You should always be here to serve someone else. Put people before you put, yourself out there. No, put yourself first. Because if you're not taken care of, if you're not in a good mental spot or mental space, how can you help somebody else? How can you be of any type of value to anyone else if you are of no value to yourself? So, don't be afraid to be selfish. Be selfish with what you want. Be selfish with your goals. And unfortunately, if someone doesn't meet what you're looking for, it's okay to say, sorry, this isn't going to work and keep it moving. Like, that's just it. It's not going to work. So, hmm. So now, so we talked about what relationships look like once you get out of the toxic ones that have the emotional manipulation, and the fact that they would not really be able to see something healthy. Um, Now, is that any can we relate that to just toxicity overall? Because if you are in a toxic relationship, let's say it doesn't have emotional manipulation, it has all types of other stuff though. Um, you're in a toxic relationship and you get out of it, you are going to have trauma. So you might gaslight yourself and think that you don't deserve this person and that you're the worst type of partner there is and you don't deserve anybody. So is it kind of separate from what I'm saying is, does it have to be related to emotional manipulation, or can it just be an overall effect from toxicity? Go ahead.
Yeah, um, that's a great way to put it. But I do want to recognize that emotional manipulation is very toxic. So they're definitely hand in hand. So I love the correlation.
Hmm.
I was in a long term, very toxic relationship,
Hmm.
and I came out of it so lost that my only option was I had to abstain from sex
Hmm.
for like 3 years. And that also meant abstaining from dating
Mm.
because just to you guys' point, right? Because we know what the date is going to lead to, you know?
Yep.
So, um, just to you guys' point, I could not recognize it. I understood that I was only, because of what I had been in for so long, I was only gonna, that's all I knew how to bring to the table. So I
Mm.
had to relearn myself. And I didn't know what I wanted. I only knew what I didn't want.
Right.
I only knew what I didn't want, and that was the toxicity.
Yeah.
But I had no clue what I wanted. So I had to really get with myself. Some people today might think that's extreme, but I swear to you, it was one of the most healthiest things I've ever done for myself.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a lot of people now. It's like, well, what do you want? I don't know, but I can tell you what I don't want. It's like, how do you reframe your mind? How do you reprogram yourself to say, well, this is good, so I want this and I want a little bit of that. Like, but we know it's hard no's. Don't cross these boundaries. Mm.
Jason,
Dang.
how did you reprogram your mind?
Yeah.
By getting, so I had to reprogram my mind in the sense of relationships, like with a focus on that, right?
Mhm.
Hmm.
And so it was, I had to first learn what I liked, you know? Like, I swore I love her spaghetti, you know? I've been eating it for like 15 years, you know? And I
Mhm.
think part of the reason why I loved her spaghetti was because somewhere during that manipulation, she made me think I loved her spaghetti, right?
Mhm.
Turn out, like, hey, lasagna is not too bad, you know? So I had to like take that time to get with myself, reprogramming my mind. I listen, even before the reprogram, I had to find out what I liked, and it took time.
Yeah.
It took time. So it was almost like a meditation without meditating, because it's like I had to go on pause to like really see, you know, fun fact, a lot of people don't know this, but the air actually smells sweet, like a honeydew melon. But if we don't take the time to notice that, because we're constantly breathing it in every day, right? So the reprogramming started with the appreciation of the little things within myself.
Gotcha.
Love it.
Okay. Do you guys have any recommendations on some tools that people can use when trying to recover from emotional manipulation? I know Jason said he had to abstain from intimacy as well as dating. So that could be a form or a method. Um, some self-searching maybe can also, grounding yourself. I know Dame goes on so many solo self-care journeys. Listen,
Go hard with
so
the self
you got
care.
all
You
types of
got to go hard
self-care.
with the self care. You heard?
Yeah. Right. We got mental ambition. He's going to help you reestablish yourself, just with some life coaching. Okay, he got the mental ambition hoodie on.
Representing,
You know what I'm
brother.
saying? That's the
You know what I'm
team, baby.
saying?
It's the
Okay.
team.
Have it.
Rebuilding yourself. Any other recommendations that you guys can think of? Maybe
Yes.
isolating yourself from certain people, maybe even the friends or family of the manipulator.
Number one, take time for yourself. Take some time for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Sit down, breathe, work through, let your mind play out. Let it work through all the things you've been through, accept that things happen, they can't be changed, and you move forward. You did the best you could at that time with the information that you had and the help that you had. It's not your fault. Things happen. Understand that first. Secondly, you start working on things that you might have put to the side. Work on your music career, get some more education, start exercising, get a hobby, something that's going to be more beneficial to your mind and to your body.
Mm-hmm.
Third, try new experiences. You are so closed in and so locked in with somebody who was horrible for you that you didn't even get a chance to spread your wings and experience what the world got to offer. Take some
Yeah.
trips, link up with some friends, go out, do some what we got. Go to a what's them lock rooms, them lock-in rooms called.
The escape joint.
Yeah, go to
Oh,
escape
he
room.
said locker. I was like, what?
You know what I'm
Trey
saying?
got
I
going
ain't
on
been
up
to one in
there?
a minute. I need to go to a couple of those. Go to an escape
I
room.
love escape
Go
rooms.
to a break room. Go to a paint and sip. Go to some stuff you haven't
Axe
experienced before.
throwing.
Axe throwing. Go bowling. Go paintballing. Everyone always wanted to go paintballing. Go do
Always want
something you have not done and open your mind and your eyes to some new experiences. It's gonna take time for you to get over the things you've been through, but accept that you made it through.
toe sucking. Go toe sucking. Yes, Nanette, a new hobby like
That's a
toe
terrible
Threw
sucking.
that
hobby.
in there.
That's a terrible
Yes,
hobby.
go toe sucking.
But I'm gonna leave it there because you caught me with this.
That's funny. Now
Oh,
listen.
and go talk to somebody. Go talk to a therapist, life coach, recovery coach. I recommend my boy Jay right there. He's real good at what he does. You know what I'm saying? Come on the Don't Judge Me But podcast. Work through your traumas. We'll get you through,
Yes,
baby.
we're not gonna judge you. And let me add to that. Talk about it, right?
Yep.
Go on any platform that you get the chance to and talk about it, because you might feel like it's nothing and that it was your own thing that you had to go through. But the more people you talk to, the stronger it helps you to become, as well as you reach out to other people who are probably going through it right now and feel like they're alone, because a manipulator, right, is going to make you feel like this is an isolated situation. It's only you. When no, it's not. It's not only you. It's the whole world. Everybody has gone through some type of emotional manipulation in their life, whether it's a relationship, whether it's, as Jason said, family. It can be friends. Just because they're your friends don't mean that they ain't gonna manipulate you. Sometimes those be the worst ones, right? So talk about it, journal, blog about it, vlog about it. While you out here sucking toes and yogaing and meditating, talk about it. Give people the insight on what it looks like, because they can be going through it and don't even know.
Yes. And if I could add, those are so powerful, so powerful. I'm not even opposed to a therapist, and breaking the stigma, that's what helped me recover and get out of a lot of these old traumas that I spoke of.
Yeah.
Right. But I've also heard of some like pretty revolutionary ideas, or maybe they're not revolutionary, right? But people are doing this like out in Cali and stuff. Like, you don't have to go look for a support group. You could start your own. Yeah. I've heard of some really good ones, right? And this is what's revolutionary, but not about them. They're like starting with like 3 friends, not going out to dinner, but cooking dinner together, right? To begin to talk about this stuff. And hey, like, okay, I'm a single mom, she's a single mom, she's a single mom. We're going to start this single moms thing, right? And we're not even going to label it a support group, right? We're just going to cook dinner. And then the next time, the 3 of us invite one other single mom, right? I say single mom, but that could be single dads. It could be people from, just
people
someone
who don't have kids.
Connect with someone that that has the same kind of traumas or issues, right? But do it organically. You know what I mean? Like, we're just gonna we're gonna play cards at the house tonight. That's a support group.
Yeah. That's a wonderful idea. Start your own and do it organically. Like Jason says, you don't have to actually go to one or go looking for one. Facebook groups, they have them all. But yeah, if you start with your circle, that's a really good idea. I didn't think about that.
I just want to add one more thing. I think it's important to look back on your previous relationships, especially the toxic ones, and ask, what about those relationships made you hold on to them? Or what makes you hold on to the toxic relationship? What about what in your inner child, what happened with you that made you want to hold on to something toxic, especially if you repeated it? If you are continuously being victimized by manipulators, ask yourself what part of you is holding on to these types of relationships. Because once you figure that out, you'll know how to go forward. So while I do agree with everybody else on the panel that it's important to take some time for yourself, that could be part of what you do while you're taking your time. Just ask yourself, why do I fall victim so easily to these, and why do I stay in them for so long? Because that's always important, to give yourself a self-evaluation.
Right. I got a question. Are we ever confronting the manipulator though?
Yeah.
Are we going, we're getting out of the relationships, we're getting all of this help, we're rebuilding ourselves back up, but are we ever addressing the manipulator?
It depends on the situation, because some manipulators are abusive. Like if you're in an abusive relationship, you face them, there could be some physical consequences. But if someone is just talking and manipulating you, address it flat out. You just tell them, look, I don't like when you do this, that, and this. This is the reason why I don't like this, that, and this, and you make me feel this way because of the things that you do. And no matter what you say, I know what I'm talking about. Because you know how you felt, you know the thoughts that you had, and you know the things that they did to you. And if they try and say, I never did that, you bring up a point, or you have one strategic point that you bring up that points out that specific scenario. You can't argue with hard facts and evidence.
Right.
You bring proof so that way they can't deny it.
Right.
If you're being manipulated and taken advantage of, please stand up for yourself. If you don't got the heart to stand up for yourself, get out of there. And if you're in something physical, one more thing. And if you're getting physically abused, please get out of there. 211, call the police, do whatever you got to do. Go to somebody's house, get away as fast as you can. Go ahead, my boy.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with preparing to have that conversation.
Come on now, talk that talk.
Yeah.
How should they prepare?
Well, you killed me in on that because you said, have that one strong point, that they're gonna have. Think about it. Like, write a couple things down. Like, this is almost a battle you're entering sometimes because they can be very defensive. So you want to be prepared to stand your ground. I think, James, you really summed it up, actually. So I just want to say there's nothing wrong with a little preparation and taking those steps that James just laid out.
Right. Gotcha.
A manipulator is definitely going to make them. They're going to take some notes and prepare for you. So you got to be prepared too.
They're going to be on it. They don't need to prepare. They've been doing this for life.
They've been
That's how they
planning.
live.
They said,
That's the
"Oh,
problem.
I do
But
this
that's-
for a living, sweetheart."
Yeah, but that's part of why I wouldn't. That's part of why my instinct was to say don't argue, don't confront them, because sometimes when people show you who they are, confronting them ain't gonna change. You're just gonna have to accept who they are, and you're gonna have to let them know that you are not the one.
Right.
Because sometimes confronting them could be dangerous. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I said. If it's physical, don't do it.
Yeah. People will explode if you try to tell them what's really happening.
Right. I'm a manipulator. What?
What?
Imagine trying to tell it.
Let me go talk bad about you before you go talk bad about me. You done found me out.
Go step to Ike Turner and call him a manipulator. So
first thing Ike gonna do is blame Tina for his manipulation.
I'm done. I'm done.
Anime.
All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and wrap up this episode. Before we do, make sure you guys click the like button right now. Click it right now. If this is your first time watching, hit that subscribe button. We are at 106 subscribers. So listen, we done hit the 100 mark. Okay, we doing it. Slow and steady wins the race, right? Go ahead, drop your favorite comment that you've heard tonight, whether it's a recommendation, whether it's your own experience. Let us know, what did you enjoy about tonight's episode? And make sure that you follow everybody that's up here. We're all going to let you know how to get in touch with us. And we appreciate you guys rocking with us. Nanette says, Jason, thank you so much for being a guest. Always enjoy hearing you.
Thank you. Love you, Nanette.
Yes, we absolutely adore her. You missed it. She was a guest up here too, not too long ago. She was a guest up here as well. So we will have our guest do his outro first, and then we'll wrap the show up. So once again, Jason, thank you for being a guest tonight. Thank you for rocking with us and dropping gems. Please let the people know who you are, what you got going on, and how can they reach out to you.
So again, Jason Dorsey, Josh Son, poet, playwright, author, recovery coach. I just came off of a wonderful thing that we produced, one of the plays I wrote at the Bagamos Theater in New Haven. And they're also doing another play that I wrote in LA at UCLA next week. And UCLA is producing one of my plays. It's called What It Is. It's a hip-hop spoken word prison abolitionist remix of The Wiz in entirety. Wow. Yeah, it's pretty dope. And also next year my book will be coming out. The book is done, but the working title so far is I Found Poetry or Poetry Found Me. It's my life story.
Nice.
Jason Dorsey, Facebook, Josh Son Poet, Instagram.
There you go. Reach out to him, y'all. All right. And let's see. We'll let Dame, Mr. Reppin' CT himself go. Sir, you already know what to do.
It's your boy, Dame Irv, a.k.a. Reppin' CT. Always good to be back with you guys. You know, I think that I always say I want you to stick up for yourself. I do honestly want you to do a self-review on why you held on to any bad relationships. Also, pick up a book. I think I learned that I was going through a toxic relationship by buying books about manipulation and about dealing with toxic people, narcissistic people, manipulators, all the things. You got to do the research. The more you learn, the higher your defenses go up. Take care of yourself for me, James and Bree, and we will take care of ourselves for you. You can go and get yourself some cool merch. This merch is for people that like to stay calm in the middle of chaos. This merch is for people that don't take no shit, but don't start no trouble. If you are this kind of person, go to urbanbuddha.bigcartel.com and go get you some merch. You know, I appreciate you guys for showing up and hanging out with us this evening. You know?
Yes. I just wanted to put up some comments really quickly. So George says big shout outs to the host panel and chat. Bullseye. The way of the superior man. So I think he's referring to getting, reading, definitely educating yourself and expanding your mind with that. I will go and I'll let James close out so you guys can find me. My name is Sabrina, but you can follow me under Simply Bree. So it's _ Simply Bree _ and that's SIMPLEEBREE _ you guys can follow me under all social media, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and just be on the lookout. Be on the lookout for, we got merch. So going over to hesaidwhatnetwork.com and check out our merch. We got hoodies, shirts, hats. We got pins, buttons, all of that good stuff. And just support us anyways, right? Because we're doing this for you guys. We do have a Facebook group. Don't judge me, but Facebook group. So be on the lookout for that as well. We would love to have you come in. Sometimes we have some crazy memes up, so you never know what's going to happen. But most importantly, come back, subscribe, come back, continue to support us. We are trying to put together this 2025 takeover for y'all. So we will have the details by the end of this year for 2025. We would love to have you join us wherever we go. So it might be Vegas. It might be Connecticut. We don't know. We want to know, where do you want to see us at? Because this is going to be a live taping. You are going to be a part of this. So your input is important. Matter of fact, put in the chat, where do you want to meet us at? Where would you like for us to take over? That's all I got. So going to go ahead and pass it on over to James. Sir, it is on you. Wrap us up.
What's going on? It's your boy James, Mr. Mental Ambition, owner of Mental Ambition, author of Mental Ambition, the Guide to Upgrading Your Life, and Mental Ambition, the Guide to a Better Relationship. Available at Amazon, Walmart, BarnesandNoble.com. You see the TikTok at Mental_Ambition 2.0. 74,000 followers, 2.2 million likes, 80 million views. Instagram is at Mental_Ambition 3.0. If you want to get in contact with me for any of the services that I offer, I'm a life coach, recovery coach, professional, podcaster, motivational speaker, and author. Hit the website, www.mental-ambition.com. Appreciate all of you who tune in, who watch, share, like, and subscribe. Prepare your mind for any challenge and believe you can accomplish anything. With the right mindset, you can accomplish anything. Stay focused, stay grounded, keep going.
Yes. All right. So so George is saying Vegas or New York. Okay. That's different. New York. It's gonna be, well, we have to go when it's warm. Okay, so we got Vegas, we got New York. Let us know. Put it in the comments, comment under the video. Let us know where you want us to take over, and we'll get you all squared away. So with that being said, we hope that you guys have a wonderful evening. Jason, once again, thank you so much for being a wonderful guest tonight. You are welcome back at any time. And you guys enjoy your Sunday. Until next time, we'll see you later.
Thank you for having me.
It's very important to make sure that the person you're with knows what you need, because if you're not getting your needs met, what are we really holding on to with this leash?
You're going to be judged. whether you know, agree to it or not, people are always going to have something to say because it's not what they like.
If you want to be solo, just y'all two, like most of us want, you kick it that way.